Hello, my fellow seekers. Welcome to Into the Work, therapy for empaths, seekers, and the intuitively driven, where you have front row seats to therapy sessions and expert interviews that will help you define the important work that you're here to do. So I guess you actually have something better than front row seats. You practically have a seat on my couch. That's right, you will have unrestricted access to actual sessions with real people, exploring real life issues. You will continue to be inspired by powerful conversations with experts and healers that might just share exactly what it is that you need to hear to get unstuck. I am Michelle Pauverman. I am a recovering people pleaser and former anxiety-driven empath, turned now mostly grounded psychotherapist and intuitive coach. I have been helping people for almost 20 years manage their limiting beliefs and anxiety to finally stop the self-sabotage and step into their gifts. I created this podcast, Into the Work, to give you a place to learn more about yourself and give you actionable strategies to finally move those roadblocks holding you back so you can go for what you want. Above all else, my hope is that this podcast is a catalyst for your awakening. If you're listening, you've already taken a step towards getting off of autopilot, and our next steps together will be taken episode by episode, waking you up to the possibilities, the new ways of thinking and being, so that you can stretch into that next level of your story. The spark has already been lit, and my friend, this is a journey from spark to brilliance. So together, let's light a fire. Hello and welcome back to the show. Today, we are talking about your purpose as an empath, seeker, and spiritually conscious person. We are going to explore how you can move through incredibly difficult times, how you can move through these difficult times and step into your core self as a healer in the world. It's not an easy task, but there is a different way and a different perspective that could support you in it, and I'd like to explore that a bit today. This is such an important conversation to have today, as our world has brought so many challenges and painful experiences for so many. No matter where you live and you're listening right now, there is pain around you. There is stuff happening that is difficult to bear witness to. And as empaths, we also can be very overwhelmed by the heartache and pain that can be shared and felt everywhere. We have been going through a really challenging time here in America with an election that has brought up so much pain and conflict for so many people. And this is pain within people and pain between people. So it's really been quite a divide here. It's been very intense. And this podcast episode is not about discussing political opinions, but I'm just acknowledging that there has been such incredible pain and conflict that we've been going through in my country as well as, globally. A lot of people have asked me lately, how can I keep moving through this life without living in this state that I have become surrounded in? Like I'm in so much fear and overwhelm. And as I'm listening to people explain this and explore this, most of these people who are asking, they're empaths. They're sensitive women seeking a different understanding, a perspective to feel some sense of relief. And how this can all be happening, they're looking to find a way to get up in the morning and move on in some way. So today, I'm going to take you on a journey. And this journey is going to be thousands of feet above the earth, so we can explore some different possibilities and expand your awareness of being a spiritual being connected to Source, God, or whatever the term you use to describe your relationship. This is your time to heal and become a leader. This is your time right now to move into the healing process, becoming the healer. And by that, I only mean that you become more and more capable of connecting with love and light when shit gets hard. And as an empath, believe it or not, you chose this life and you chose being an empath in this life so that you can have the experiences that you're having. Your soul has been evolving over lifetimes. And as a soul, this is your choice of being here now as this sensitive seeker that you are. And there's good reason for it. You thought it was a good idea, right? Coming down here and being so sensitive. So there must be some wisdom in it, right? So because being spiritually awakened and drawn towards this level of healing and connection, that's why you're listening to this podcast, right? And it's a part of your purpose in this life because you're evolving as a soul. So that means so you can heal and be of service at this time. So we're going to talk today about how you can do all of this. But first, I want to share a picture with you. And it's going to help us kind of set the stage for just our conversation today about a different perspective. Let's start by having you envision yourself floating up above into the sky. I want you to just imagine going up, 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 up. And you are headed past the atmospheric layers of our Earth until you are floating just above the Earth. You realize immediately the intense beauty of the Earth. And as you're in this sort of holding zone, you get to just be there for a moment and experience the miracle that is Earth. It's a sheer miracle. And from the perspective you're looking at, it's overwhelming. Now, I want you to imagine from this holding space as you're gazing down to Earth, you ask to be shown all of the pain down there on Earth. And immediately, red dots start to appear all over the planet. You can see there are a number of clusters where pain is highly saturated. You can also see that these red dots are transient. The pain is transient. It's in motion. In any moment, it will shift. And you'll see that red dots disappear and reappear somewhere else. And you take that in for just a moment as you see this bright red sort of moving around the planet. Next, you're going to go ahead and ask to be shown all of the love down on Earth. And before your eyes, there's a massive shift that begins to happen as you watch Earth down below. Suddenly, the color of a bright light green begins to fill the planet. At first, you expected to see the same dots as you saw with the pain. But instead, you're seeing a massive movement of this bright green color that starts to coat the Earth. It starts merging and shifting and moving all around the Earth into a hazy green fog that seems to be everywhere. You are now looking at a bright green planet, so you must assume that love is everywhere. But it also hits you, much like an intuitive download. You just start receiving information. And it's actually much deeper than that. You learn and you understand that you have been associating the word love with a feeling. However, up here, from this perspective, you realize that it's much more expansive than that. From this viewpoint, love is the energy that holds everything together. It is everywhere. And as you have this awakening that love is the binding energy for our planet, its inhabitants, everything you see, including the field of fog around the planet that is supporting the planet itself. And you feel it and you see it and you know it. You actually feel like you're waking up from a dream where you realize that love is always there to experience. It's actually an energy, a force of energy, if you will. However, while everything on the planet is made of this energy, there are these interwoven connections between everything on Earth. It occurs to you that all living things down there on Earth have a choice of aligning and being in this beautiful energy, which is source energy, God energy, right? Or you can reject it and you can choose the less dominant energy forms like fear and pain and lower vibrations. Now, I want you to imagine that you receive this download of information, and as you awaken to your purpose, you awaken to the calling to stay connected to love as often as possible. That's literally your job, the job that you chose when you came down here. You understand that being human on earth will be extremely hard, that you will have pain, that it's going to be sometimes too much. But you understand there is a choice of love or the lower vibrations that are less dominant. You also know that the point of pain is for you to find love again. So you're going to choose the lower dominant. You're going to have a reaction in life and you're going to be human in life. But as an empath and as a spiritual seeker, right, there's something special for you. There's this sense of duty. And you have signed up for this to find your way back to the source of energy that is love. The longer you stay misaligned with it, the longer you are connected and mired in a lower vibration like fear and pain, the more unwell you will become. You'll have health issues. You'll have issues that show up in all different ways. And as a sensitive seeker here, you are here to raise up the vibration of a planet. Not by being perfect, not by staying positive all the time, but by realigning with love over and over and over again. And from there, you can create really wonderful, abundant things. It's almost promised. Now, you are back here listening to me here on Earth, and we're in real time, and you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, maybe you're not, but I think many are. What about this painful thing, these travesties? What about these people dying? What about people losing their human rights? Am I saying that it's okay if I just turn a blind eye and live in love and I just attach myself to this higher vibration and I find my way back, but then everybody just suffers? So no, that is not how it works when you are aligned with source energy. That is your fear coming from your ego. That is your ego's fear. You are here to bear witness when it's not your pain. And your job is to learn how to differentiate between what is your time to be in pain and heal and move on, and when you might be taking on everybody else's pain, and that we'll talk about. But to align with the mission of being an empath or a spiritual seeker is to seek out the lesson. You're constantly needing to seek out the lesson. And perhaps the pain shapes you in your healing process to be of service in a new way. Maybe you become an advocate in something you didn't really ever realize that was so important to you. Or perhaps through your journey of pain, you fulfill a purpose and you figure some new things out that are really important to how you move forward in the world. You have to go through it and then realign with love, with source energy, with the vibration that's holding us all together. And if you stay in a pain state, you will weaken and your impact on the world around you will be smaller. This is not what you are here to do, right? You're not here to do that small thing. You're not here to be in the same state of struggle, in the same state of pain as everybody else. When you grow your relationship to Source and God, it becomes stronger and stronger. When you realign with the energy, you are evolving as a soul. And that's what you're here to do. We all are here to do. Now, also people are thinking, well, how the heck can I make a difference just by raising my vibration and feeling faith and love and all those things that get me into that higher vibration that is that source energy, that energy of love that you saw covering the planet and keeping it together? Because people are still going to be hurting, right? This is where it's important that you understand a new perspective if you don't already have it. And that perspective is that how much we are all connected. Like the underground root system of a forest, we are all receiving source energy and information through this communication of our shared root system. By connecting with love, you impact others through the root system. We are all connected in so many unbelievable ways. And actually, research validates our connection and our connection to the Earth's magnetic field. At the Heart Math Institute, they found that the Earth's magnetic field acts as a carrier, like a carrier wave for biological and human information, that it literally holds information and it carries it and moves it and passes it on. The resonant frequency of the Earth's magnetic field is the same as the human heartbeat when we are in a coherent state, which means we're in a state of calm and peace. If you meditate, you're in a coherent state. And research has shown that globally, our heart rhythms can synchronize with the Earth's resonant frequencies so that globally, people from everywhere can synchronize to the same frequency. It's fascinating. There's so many incredible things. I will put a link to the Heart Math Institute research in the thing in case you're kind of like somebody who loves that stuff. But I was looking at a photo the other day, and you might have seen this photo as I'm passing around, and it's been around for a while. But it's two photos, and one is black and white, like an ink print of a fingerprint, and the other is a black and white picture of these rings of a tree. You know, the rings inside a tree. There was no difference when you look at the two. They look like two fingerprints or two tree rings. The world can be reviewed in so many incredible ways in terms of how we're all connected. We can even view the world geometrically in these repeating patterns everywhere. There's so many things that are just unbelievable. It's so incredible how connected we are in ways that our pea-sized perspective cannot fathom. So when you doubt that simply shifting your frequency to that of love and faith will impact the world, I'm just trying to tell you that it does. It feeds the field, aka the root system, which feeds the planet. This is where I need to plug how crucial your energetic boundaries are, especially right now. You are also not here to become the pain that others experience. You are to evolve your gifts to understand the depth and bring in love and be able to realign yourself so that you can contribute to the frequency. I have a saying I always share when I'm teaching energy healing and Reiki. I always say, I don't have to feel it to heal it. Because so many of us empaths need to understand that we don't have to absorb it and take it on and experience it in order to help. Feeling it and becoming it does not actually help anyone, but it lowers your frequency and lowers your contribution to the field. So if you have been spending time being enmeshed with the pain of others, experiencing, all the fears of what ifs, of all the potential things that are going to go horribly wrong, as well as just being really enmeshed in the pain of others, I want you just to forgive yourself. Think of it as a mistake. Oops, that's my mistake. Got to bring myself back. You have a beautiful heart. That is why you're going there. And it's time to increase your boundaries. That may mean shutting off your connection for a short bit of whatever it is you're worried about. If you're doom scrolling on social media, I'll ask you to stop and take a breath. What your job is right now is to reacclimate, connect with yourself, family, reestablish your new way of showing up. What is the lesson for you right now that you have to take in? Take a moment, meditate, breathe, pray, bring in hope and faith. Remind yourself of your duty here. And that is to reconnect to love and to an understanding that things are just so much greater than you could possibly imagine. And being connected to the faith that everything that's playing out here is something that is making its way, that is beyond you, right? It's bigger than you. And so your only job here is to really realign and reacclimate. Now, if you are in the front lines, meaning you have a job where you need to stay connected and show up to the trauma as it's happening, you can't disconnect. And I just want to say to you, if you're out there and you're hearing this, that you need support. You need support to realign and heal yourself. That secondary trauma is something we're all experiencing all the time, but certainly for you, showing up front lines. And I just want to make sure I say that that finding help, seeking help, finding a good therapist, finding a good coach, somebody to help you work through that. As for your boundaries, it's really important that you show up for the internal boundaries, the boundaries you have with yourself, right? You need a gatekeeper. You need a gatekeeper for your catastrophic thinking, for your future-driven, fear-based thoughts, for imagining all the worst-case scenarios, for just grieving. And that is something you are allowed to do. This is a time to feel. So if you are feeling and you're in a process of emotions, then sometimes we have to ride that. We have to allow them to come up and out. However, remember there are 1,000 paths ahead that can change on a dime. Whatever is happening that is extremely difficult and anything that you're worried about, things are shifting and changing. We can't control that there is massive pain in the world and that horrible things happen to people. But we are not in charge of other people's paths. We're not in charge of them. And unless you have an action that you feel very strongly about taking, which by all means, please do, that is your path. That is what you're supposed to do. But often, us empaths frequently need to check in with ourselves during these difficult times to remind ourselves that our lives matter even when other people struggle. We can become so enmeshed and almost feel guilty for our safety and our well-being when others lack these fundamentals. And we have to find ways, or you have to find ways to nourish your soul right now, to connect with yourself and do things that raise up your vibration. Again, you're not actually helping anybody by living in a fear or a state of pain. And if there are actions you can take to help, again, take them. But where you can make a difference is also by bringing yourself back into the light, bringing yourself back into a higher vibration. So if you're doom scrolling, again, I'm going to tell you to stop. I want you to really look for the good. I mean, really search for it. If you're engaging in more conflict than you know what to do with, it's time to pause, right? It's time to find some calm. It's time to find calm, love, and acceptance within you. If there are things that are happening that are triggering, if you're feeling attacked, all the things that can happen in times like this, I want you to find calm and I want you to find acceptance within. Perhaps now might not be the time to look outside yourself to be soothed because it's a bit of a jungle out there. So I guess what I mean by that is choose wisely. When you're going to share and you're going to process some of your feelings, do it with a safe person. Find a good therapist, if not a good friend, a sacred space to process. If you are feeling misguided right now, slow down and meditate, right? Feeling misguided, lost, uncertain of your purpose here, uncertain about where you are meant to be in all of this and what is the lesson you are supposed to learn in this. I need you to slow down and meditate. You need to just get within. If you're someone who cannot sit and meditate, then go for walks. Get out in nature. Explore how this experience has the potential to crack you wide open in ways that bring even more light and love in, maybe a whole new purpose. We have many. If your catastrophic thinking is taking you down dark alleys, it's time to reestablish safety. So if you are feeling very like your nervous system's whacked and you are just know that, you're more anxious than ever, breath work can be super helpful. All breath work can be helpful, even just simply taking some deep breaths like box breathing, where you breathe in for 5, you hold for 5, you breathe out for 5, and hold for 5, and keep repeating. Breath work is a way that we not only are able to calm our sympathetic nervous system, but also signal to our vagus nerve to just deeply relax. So really good stuff there. But your job right now is to keep yourself in the here and now. Practice being present with the gifts that are around you. This life is still a gift to be explored. So take the time you need to heal right now, tighten up your boundaries, and focus on the good in the world you are currently creating. You are a powerful creator. You can create so much good. And now you also realize that you also are a contributing member of the field, right? You're a contributing member of the field, which supports all of us and our planet. I hope this episode has helped support you in expanding your viewpoint so that you can step into your calling as an empath or seeker. There are lots of different resources out there. I have my free inspiration hub. I will put the link in the show notes and make sure it's there for you. I have some meditations and some breathwork stuff there that describes some different things that you can do. It's free again. All you had to do is sign up for it. I hope this episode has helped support you in expanding your viewpoint so that you can step into your calling as an empath and sensitive seeker and create those boundaries that you need to be able to do your job here, right? Empaths really are not here to just be kind of like weak and overwhelmed by them all, like we are really meant to be here and manage our stuff so that we can show up. And so we have to tend to our sensitivities because our sensitivities are part of our gift and they have lots of good ways they serve us, but also they can be a lot. And so it's our job and our responsibility to clear ourselves, to ground ourselves, and to realign with love, with source energy, with God energy. Okay. So that's it for today. I hope you take really good care and nourish and support yourself this week. And I will look forward to talking to you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Into the Work Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. Don't forget to grab your free gift, your Shadow Work Transformation Bundle at michellepoverman.com. I've included everything you need to get started to break through the patterns of self-sabotage and finally start to heal the parts of yourself that are getting in the way of truly reaching your potential. From a powerful meditation designed to help you meet and embrace your shadow self, to the guide that's full of curated prompts and important questions to support you on this journey. This really can be the work for you to unmask the root cause of all the issues you've been experiencing, honestly, and start to feel free to believe in yourself and go for what you want. The link for this free bundle is in the show notes. And if you like this episode, I would be so grateful if you could take a moment and rate, click and follow, and leave a review. Of course, you can always follow me on socials at Michelle Poverman. And keep in mind, as you embark on your journey from spark to brilliance, remember, the universe is always conspiring in favor of your awakening. Everything that's happening is in support of you lighting your own fire within. So until we meet again, may your path be well lit and your heart be guided. Shine bright, seekers, until next time.